Hello, Autonomics. Good morning or afternoon or even evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to day 9 of the 30-day habit challenge. If you're new here, as always, just make sure you check out the intro video for the challenge first and then go through the videos in order. That'll help you make sure you integrate the necessary concepts along the way, as well as grab that necessary education for these concepts at the very beginning. So with that, let's jump right in. The topic for today, at least from my end, is failure. Not really. It sounds worse than it is. The purpose of the challenge is not perfection, right? It's to have an ongoing assessment of the strength of a habit as we adopt it. And yesterday, I did not get my habit execution in. There were too many other things going on. I felt too much, quite honestly, too much anxiety, energy from not being able to get to those things. And so the workout continued to fall by the wayside, and eventually it was just too late to try to do it. You shouldn't work out too late in the day, particularly close to bed. The cortisol from the workout will actually keep you awake. So you just have to call it sometimes, right? Now, something important about that. Thursday is my normal rest day, right? And going back to the original rules and protocols of the challenge, right? When we miss a day, one, we don't punish ourselves for it, but two, we don't make it up. We just want this sort of regular historical roadmap and then an unchanging interface with our lives as we try to adopt a habit it has some contextual dependence, right? We don't need to constantly be thinking on our toes, and it's perfectly fine to have some context dependence within a habit, but we just want to lower it, to the extent that we can. So if something goes wrong, we still get it in. I had some high context dependence for my workout habit yesterday, which is why I didn't get it, because the context change caused me to step away from it, and that anxious energy from the 6 friction, right? That was that kept me from starting. So it's good that this happened, because it allows me to, one, show you, what this is. Two, it gives me an honest picture of how strong or weak my workout habit is. And this is a mark against it. Again, it's not even about perfection, right? It's just about having this ongoing assessment and having a historical view that we can use to look back on things. So it's not really failure in that sense, but really what it kind of highlights is that the challenge serves 3 main purposes. The first one is to teach the neuroscience of habits and strong habit adoption. We did that in the intro video. So again, if you haven't seen that, make sure you go back and watch the intro video. It's the one before day 1, okay? The second purpose that it serves is to demonstrate this adoption system that works, right? This will show you all the different, sort of relevant factors in a habit adoption and how successful or unsuccessful, or how strong that habit is. The less times we do it when we mean to, the weaker the habit is, the less automaticity there is. So at its core, the test of the 30 days isn't really to have a lifelong habit established, right? Doesn't mean 30 days and we'll, never miss a habit again. It's certainly possible if you really, really put all of the energy into it and you happen to be a type that adopts habits quickly, but it's not really about that. It's more about learning the system that enables us to adopt habits in ways that work, right? And that's what this spreadsheet really helps show. Let's see. So if you go, all the way through these 30 days, right, and the habit isn't established, right? Well, do you know what you can do? You can do it again. You basically that's the idea, is to use this 30 days to highlight a habit that you're trying to pick up. And then you run through the 30 days. Now we're getting into, some of the context of the testing section, right? Which starts on day 22. And that's really where we just take an honest look at it. Again, we'll get into that on the Sunday, which is day 21, right? So 2 Sundays from now, we'll get into that. It's not important yet, but it will be then. And I'll cover it entirely then. It's a very simple concept. And intuitively, you can kind of figure out what it is, but don't do any testing yet. We're still in the adoption phase. So if you, yeah, again, if you aren't having success at first, and we go through the 3 weeks of adoption and 1 week of testing, up to 30 days, so 4 weeks, give or take, give a couple days, you can reset, right? The more repetitions you get in, the more the neuronal connections involved in the habit are strengthened and the automaticity will go up, right? It just will. So just that's the idea, is to use the bracketing task to get repetitions in. I say it all the time, but that's how it works. That's how we establish these things. So let's see, and that's it, to tie it all together for the sake and from the perspective of the tool. It's about getting the repetitions in and then continually assessing, which is what this spreadsheet is, right? And you just use that and you make necessary changes along the way. And at the end of this, you can make a wider assessment and use it in whatever analytical way you'd like. But that's how to do it. It's just to get some real data, a real picture of how we're handling these things, how well it's going, how strong the habits are. That said, so moving on to today, I did get my workout in this morning. Sorry, 1 second. I'm having a slight computer issue. I will fix it right now. There we go. Okay. So I got my workout in this morning and I have boxing this evening. So this is the start of those 2 very intensive days for me, which drives me to the Thursday rest day. I'm still going to have Thursday as a rest day. As I mentioned, it is not about making up the Monday with the Thursday, and then you just end up tripping over yourself. And, should I adjust my rest day next week, or should I go all the way around the next day without a break? You just really get into complicated territory that way. So, don't worry about if you don't get a day in, don't worry about making it up, and don't punish yourself. None of those, and neither of those 2 things will help in the context of this tool. Let's see. So the reason that it was easy to get my workout in this morning, another part of the reason that I didn't get it in yesterday morning, was that this morning my gym clothes were actually laid out, right? I had clean clothes. Right? Yesterday I didn't. I had no clean gym clothes, so that seriously disrupted the habit execution. This morning, the habit execution was aided by the fact that I had everything ready to go. And that's a little clue to the new concept we're going to add this Sunday. And that's when it's really going to get crazy. Again, you could probably kind of figure out what I'm talking about, but if not, don't worry about it. Stick with me till then. That's when we will really kick this habit machine into gear, and it will really open up. And that's when it gets into some, just potentially life-changing territory. So it'll do some really significant things for us. It's very, very powerful. That's this Sunday. Until then, just keep going as you're going. Use the identity basis for habits to jumpstart your own executions. Thanks again to all of my subscribers. I'm so glad to have you along. Special shout out to my cousin Louisa for her supportive comments yesterday. Love you, cuz. Stay safe and healthy out there. And that's it for now. I've got script writing this afternoon, boxing tonight, and another workout tomorrow morning. So until then, hope you're all doing okay out there. And thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow.